Everybody has an unconscious bias. True, whether you realize it or not, you categorize people unknowingly every time you see them. This is our brain's way of storing information and making emotional connections. Our brains are hardwired this very specific way to create short and long-term memories. Unconscious bias develops naturally from a very young age. True, the environment in which we grow up in and the experiences we are subjected to influence our perspective both consciously and unconsciously. How a parent reacts and comments on an individual will influence our own personal opinions and views. This may lead to alternate facts being created. Unconscious bias never goes away. False. By becoming aware of how we view others in both our personal and professional lives, we can help to overcome certain biases we may have. Awareness is a step in the right direction to overcoming and preventing them from continuing. Think of diversity in the workforce as an opportunity for both you and others to obtain success. Different viewpoints can often lead to great ideas and synergy in the workplace. Our values often influence how we see others in our personal and professional lives. What we value as individuals strongly affects the interactions we have with others. We often will look to be friends or even hire people who are just like ourselves. How can you go wrong by hiring someone who is essentially your twin? Very. Perspectives within the company and the opportunity for growth are limited when you employ a group of individuals with the exact same ideas. Keeping in mind that employees should be working towards similar goals and following the visions of the company, who is to say there aren't different ways of achieving these goals? Hiring someone based on your first impression is a safe bet. False. As the old saying goes, you should never judge a book by its cover. The same message applies to first impressions. Thinking back to the science of unconscious bias, our brain categorizes individuals based on their weight, hair color, accent, race, and even the clothes they are wearing, without even being aware that we are doing this. Even though someone may not have the most expensive suit when they show up to an interview, there is no correlation to the simple fact that they may be the most qualified person for the position. By the way, when I mentioned suit, did you assume that this individual was a man? After completing training on unconscious bias, you will be bias-free. False. I'm guessing you didn't sign up for this course if you weren't interested in learning more about unconscious bias and how in fact you can work toward preventing it in the workplace. There is no one quick fix or cure for unconscious bias, but you have the power to influence how it affects you and your work environment. Awareness and the desire to make a difference take you a long ways to ensure that productivity and success are at the forefront of your motives to improve your relationships with current and prospective colleagues. Others' opinions of people should be duly noted and examined when hiring. False. An opinion involving any sort of bias should be removed from conversations regarding hiring or working with a certain individual. Give people an opportunity to show who they really are and not base perspective on any preconceived notion you may have about someone. Opening the doors and allowing true colors to be revealed will all hopefully lead to great things. And creating a community with diverse skill sets within your company will only be one of many. Take the chance to allow for a potential or current employee's story to be revealed and subsequently valued as part of the team working towards the common goals of the company. Individuals with higher intelligence are less likely to have unconscious bias. False. Intelligence doesn't automatically protect us from unconscious bias. Remember, unconscious bias is triggered and expressed automatically without awareness. But don't be discouraged. You do have control over your next steps. Learn what your unconscious biases are and consider some of the strategies on the next sections for regulating these attitudes.